All right, guys, Sanj here. Welcome back to another episode on the Bodybuilding News Network, specifically another episode of Bodybuilding Today. We're going to be covering the 2021 Europa Pro in the men's open category first, and then later today we'll be covering the 212. So make sure you stay tuned for both of those videos. But before we get into today's video, I want to announce our special sponsor. So Peak Performance Labs has decided to come on and support and sponsor the coverage of the Texas Pro and the Europa Pro this weekend, and then continuing through the month of August. So very excited to announce that partnership. I want to thank everyone who's been watching and subscribing and commenting, all the new fans that have come in the last month. It's been absolutely fantastic to just see the growth of this channel and just really seeing the community of bodybuilding growing here on the Bodybuilding News Network. So if you want to support this channel, go ahead and check out Peak Performance Labs over on Instagram, Peak Performance Labs, no spaces, and use discount code SANJ10 at checkout if you guys are in the market for pre-workouts, intra workouts, post workouts, and muscle builders. But besides that, let's get back into today's video. The first competitor is going to be KHALED ALKAZEM from Kuwait. I like what I'm seeing from KHALED ALKAZEM. He has some crazy dimensions. He has the size upper body. He has the size in the legs. He could do really good at this show. It might be a conditioning battle. It might be him battling against some of those bigger guys like a WINKLAAR, like Tim Budesheim. It's going to be interesting to see. But let me know down below how you guys feel about KHALED ALK. Next on the scorecard is Mohammad alnsoor. And the last time we saw him was at the 2021 Chicago Pro, where he placed 13th in the men's open. But looking at his Instagram, he's been posting quite a bit of physique updates all the way till June and July. I'm liking what I'm seeing. He has great conditioning. He has great flow and symmetry. The arms look great. The back double looks very thick and dense. He has that 3D muscle effect. So that could spell some success for him in the show. But with him placing 13th at the Chicago, it will be interesting to see where he's going to be landing in this lineup. So let me know down below how you guys are feeling about his placing. Next on the scorecard is Nathan De Asha. So Nathan De Asha, the last time we saw him officially on stage was at the 2019 Vancouver Pro, where he placed second. Now, Nathan De Asha, he's been working in Kuwait, trying to just really get ready for this show. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him and from his camp. He posts lots of physique updates. It looks like he has a new Instagram account. So if you guys don't know that, check him out. As always, the links are in the description for all the athletes' Instagram accounts if you want to follow them. But for the most part, I think he's going to do well. I think Nathan De Asha is definitely going to be in that conversation for the top three. But let me know down below what you guys are thinking. Let me know how you guys are feeling about his prep and how he's looking approximately 2 days out from the Europa Pro. Next on the scorecard is Ayat Bagheri. Apologize if I butchered that one. If he's going to show up at all like he's looking like in his Instagram photos, always links in the description. He has some great arms. He has a great hamstring sweep on the side. It could use some improvement. I'm assuming that this post from June 30th is from a guest posing. So he has the structure. He has the muscle density, development, arms. He could do very well in this show. So looking at his NPC News Online page, he has the legs, he has the chest, he has some higher lat insertions, the midsection's controlled. So he could do well in this lineup. It just, there's going to be a lot of big guys in this lineup. There's going to be a lot of seasoned competitors in this lineup. And it looks like, especially in these back shots, it looks like a lot of newer, younger muscle. So kind of tough to give him a prediction. We might be able to see him in that second call out, but that's a very rough prediction. As we keep cruising through these scorecards, I try to make these videos as quick as I can because I know you guys like the videos just a little bit more concise. But the next competitor on the scorecard is Pavel Baran. The last time we saw Pavel Baran was at the 2018 Prague Pro. Now, this guy could be a dark horse, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Why you say that? So in 2018, he beat out people like James Hollingshead. Hollingshead? Yeah, I said it right. Sweet. And someone like Samson Dauda. So although that was, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, it is something to keep in mind. So at one point, he had the structure to beat out some very big names in the IFBB. Looking at the stage photos from what I've been able to find, again, I kind of had a tough time finding his stuff today. Normally, it's not this difficult, but I guess they just really made me work today. But from the photos I saw from some of the stage shots they had of him compared next to, I think it was ROELLY, it was Nathan Asha, it was James Hollingshead, guys like those. He looked really good. He looked conditioned. He looked full. He had a great tan on him, shredded six pack. So if he's able to maintain any of that, we can't really see much from his Instagram. A lot of like photo shoot stuff. It's hard to tell what he looks like right now. But if he looks anything like he did in 2018, expect to see him in that first call out. Another competitor on the scorecard, the next competitor, another competitor that we've seen recently is James Bondi or Bondi. The last time we saw him was at the Portugal Pro, the Mr. Big Evolution Pro, where he placed 12th in the men's open. And looking at his most recent stage shots before getting to his Instagram, I love that he's holding that vacuum. He reminds me of, like, I don't want to say a thicker, but maybe a blockier Rafael Brandao, whereas the legs just don't sweep as much. The bicep peak from the back is world class. That's probably some of the best bicep peaking. That's some Kai Green-esque bicep peak from the back. But then just everything else kind of, it just looks a little soft. The hamstrings are very washed out. The glutes are washed out. So, and that's probably why he didn't place as well as he probably wanted to. I think that if he made the correction in that conditioning, especially from these back shots, he could do a lot better than 12th. So probably one of the favorites to do very, very well at this show is Tim Budesheim. I know you'll roast me in the comment section because I never say it right. But Tim Budesheim, the last time we saw him was at the Portugal Pro. He placed second. A lot of people wanted him to win. We'll break down his physique just a little bit, but he's definitely going to be one of those favorites to win this show. He brings conditioning. He has the size. He has the development. I like his physique. It flows very well. There's not really, sometimes when you look at physique, sometimes when you look at competitors, there's always something missing, or there's something a little bit overgrown. Maybe like back in the day, ROELLY had like a big midsection issue. But when we look at someone like Tim Budesheim, or maybe I'll just say Tim so you guys stop cringing, is there's nothing that he really needs to work on except, maybe the hamstrings from the side shots. But that's just nitpicking. He has a beautiful physique. He has a great upper body. He definitely was one of those dark horses coming into the big man evolution into the Portugal Pro. And I think that he is definitely no longer a dark horse, but he is a favorite to place in that top 3, in my opinion, at this year's Europa Spain Pro. But let me know down below how you guys are feeling about Tim placing in approximately 2 days out, 1 day out from the Europa Spain. Another competitor that I'm very excited about. I won't be able to show too much physique updates because he has a new personal account on Instagram, but Zach King Kahn, apologies. The last time we saw him was in 2016 at the Tampa Pro. It wasn't the splash that he wanted to make. He took off 2013 to 2016 just to kind of deal with some stuff. take some off season and just grow into that physique, because he made a lot of heads turn in 2013. He posted a lot of crazy physique updates coming into that 2016 show. And it just didn't translate as well as we wanted to see on the pro stage. But I mean, it's really going to be interesting to see what he's going to look like. He's a big name if you've been following the bodybuilding industry for a while now. We haven't seen him on stage in 5 years, 6 years. So it's a long time. But let me know if you guys have seen anything from Zach Kahn or his camp. I know he has a supplement company, but let me know down below how you guys are feeling about Zach placing at this year's Europa Spain. Another big name, a frequent flyer on the competitive calendar this year in 2021, and even in 2020, is going to be Theo. I never say it right, so apologies. Ligueria. I know it's French or something, European, right? But I love his physique. It flows very well. Nothing's overgrown. He's another beautiful competitor when we're looking at the physique. The last time we saw him was at Mr. Big Evolution Pro, that Portugal Pro. If they need to make these names simpler. I get the sponsorships, but make it simple, guys. Like, bring back the European Grand Prix. Let's have the German Pro. Let's have the Norwegian Pro. All those. Just make it simple. Make it simple. But he placed 5th at the Mr. Big Evolution Portugal Pro. And I love his physique. It flows well. He always brings just that great X factor. It's just very aesthetic. There is going to be some discrepancies when we look at the legs. He needs a little bit more time to grow into this open class, but he's definitely one of the more aesthetic competitors coming into the show. So, saying that, if he brings the proper conditioning, he could do very well at this show. But as always, let me know down below what you guys are thinking. Another competitor on the list, another frequent flyer, is Andrea Muzi. Now, the last time we saw Andrea Muzi was also at the Mr. Big Evolution Pro, the 2021 Portugal Pro, where he placed 7th in the men's open. So another competitor that we've seen a lot of this year. Again, just one of those really big competitors, very aesthetic. The gym photos that he posts are just like world class. He's got like that Dennis James level of like Mr. Olympia look when he's in the gym, and it just hasn't converted. It hasn't showed up on a pro stage yet to where he can get those nods to win. He didn't place crazy well. He placed 7th at his last show. So it will be interesting to see. I know I say it a lot, but it will be interesting to see how this shows up at the Europa Spain, especially when we start looking at some of these bigger names that are coming on this scorecard in just a second. Next on the scorecard is Diogo the Terminator Nunes. That's fun. A lot of people don't have their nicknames anymore, like Nick the Mutant Walker. It's not as common as it used to be. So I like that he had that in his Instagram bio. But Diogo, is it Diogo or Diego? Diogo? I'll say Diego for now, just because it's easier. But Diogo Nunes, the last time we saw him was at the 2020 Romania Muscle Pro Fest, where he placed 5th in the 212. So he's making that move up into the men's open category. Looking at the physique update from 3 days ago, he made the improvements. He's got those 212 legs, but he's also built a pretty solid foundation up top while maintaining a very small midsection. So definitely could be one of those dark horse people coming into the shows. I am a little worried when we look at that weight, but if his frame is small enough, he could be able to fill that out very well. But I love his physique. He looks fantastic. This photo is about a week out, so the hamstrings look a little washed, but everything else looks really, really sharp, really, really tight, full. He looks full. He could do really well. I would like to see him. I would like I'd like to see him do very well. But let me know down below, how do you guys feel about Diogo Nunes placing at this year's Europa Pro in Spain? Now, this next competitor, you all will have to correct me if I got this one wrong, but I swear we just saw Paul Poloczek. I swear we just saw him compete, but they're saying he hasn't competed since 2018. That doesn't register in my brain. I swear I just saw him on stage, but regardless, based off of the records, the last time we saw him was at the 2018 New York Pro, where he placed 16th in the men's open category. Now, I do want to preface this by when I looked at one of his physique updates, the first one you're going to see here with this front shot, I was like, oh man, he's downsized. It looks like his shoulders shrunk. I think that was just a bad photo, because then I started looking at this next photo you're looking at now, and his hamstrings look world class. He looks massive from the side. So this could be a very big surprise at this show. I don't think anyone is expecting Paul Poloczek to do really well at this show, but I actually think he could do really well. He has these side shots. He has the density in the back, although it's not like the 3D muscle isn't there. But I think if he just comes in crispy enough, especially with the development that he has in his lower body, this new muscle in the hamstrings, I think he could do really well at this show. But let me know down below what you guys think. Is this too stringy of a physique to maybe place in that first call out? Or do you think this is going to be more of like a second, third call out type of physique? Let me know down below. Next competitor on the list, kind of a cool name, Sarhan Sarhan. But he goes by Big Sarhan, which I like that. I like people calling themselves Big something on Instagram. Love his physique, big peaked shoulders. He has a pretty good defined midsection as well. But before I get ahead of myself, sometimes I fanboy out a little bit too much when I'm making these videos. So I got to reel it back. The last time that we saw him on stage, from my records, was at the San Marino Pro, where he got his pro card in 2019. So this should be his pro debut. And he's hopping right into the men's open, which as always, I like to see. That means that he's put on the right amount of muscle. But from these photos that we're seeing from him, the quads look on point. The chest, the shoulders look developed. He has a clean, tight midsection, clearly defined abs. He could do well in this lineup. But let me know down below what you guys feel about his pro debut, his potential pro debut in the men's open bodybuilding class at this year's Europa Spain. Another competitor, I had him as a favorite coming into the 2021 Big Man Evolution weekend, or the Portugal Pro. I had him in that 1-2 spot, Vlad Suhoruchko. I thought that he was going to do really, really well at that show. He ended up taking 4th, which, is still a good placing at one of these higher echelon shows, especially when we look at the European Tour. This is one of those big shows that you want to place well at. I thought he looked fantastic, conditioned, just very, very shredded. When we're looking at some of these shots, I thought that he looked a little watery in the chest in some shots, but then in other shots, it was just completely striated, just diced. You could see you could see all the way into like the muscle insertions, like each piece of the chest was coming out. It looked like it was like Mike Munzer in some shots. So if he brings the same level of conditioning, or even better, that he brought to the Portugal Pro, to the Europa Spain this weekend, I think he could do really, really well. He's not shy of posting physique updates. He posts them, it would seem, almost weekly. The last one 8 weeks out from the Europa Spain. I love what I'm seeing. He has the legs, he has the chest. He's not missing anything. He has a complete physique. He brings the conditioning. It's just he needs to get the right look. He needs to get the right tan, the right shine. And then the judges, when I'm talking about look, I mean the judges. The judges need to give him the right look and compare him against the right people. So let me know down below what you guys think about Vlad Suhoruchko placing at this year's Europa Spain. Next on the scorecard is the real muscle unit, Rob Taylor, or Robert Taylor, I guess is what the scorecard goes by. But the last time we saw him, I don't know. I couldn't find his scorecard. But he is going to be competing here. I love what I'm seeing here. One of the photos he posted, I'll put it on the screen for you. It said that he won the 2020 British Grand Prix. So I'm not sure if that's where he turned pro, if he won the NPC version, or if he actually won the pro version. Because I thought I remember the last few years of the British Grand Prix, British Grand Prix winners. But let me know down below. I'm pretty sure that's where he turned pro. Beautiful physique. He has the legs. He has the arms. Good chest. He might turn up to be just a little narrow in the legs, a little narrow in the lower back. You just might need a little bit more time to fill out that frame. But who knows? You bring the right conditioning, you could probably get a better look or a more favorable look over some of these bigger competitors. And that's something we've seen throughout this competitive season is sometimes if you don't have as much mass as other people, like even respectfully for Phil Klahar, he didn't have the biggest legs on stage, but he had the conditioning and the rest of the body was filled out that he placed very, very well at his last show and most of the shows this year. So same situation here for Rob Taylor. He could place very well. But let me know down below what you guys think. Is this going to be a second call out kind of guy, or do you think he might fall farther back in the pack? Next on the scorecard is Mariusz Cruz. I think he's Polish, so apologies if I butchered that one. The last time we saw him was where he, I believe, got his pro card at the 2019 Amateur Olympia Spain. He placed third in the heavyweight. I'm not sure how those shows work if the top three get pro cards. You never know. Or maybe just their records are off at the NPC News Online. I wouldn't be shocked. But from what we can see here, I like what I'm seeing. He has the conditioning. He has the size. The midsection isn't blown out. He has great quad sweeps. The adductors and the abductors look great. I think you could use a little bit more improvement in the biceps, working on the peak. But, overall, he has a great physique. He's probably going to be on the smaller side when we're looking at some of these other competitors. So kind of the same situation that we just talked about with the last competitor. That conditioning might get him a little farther, but I think just that overall, the development, the muscle density is going to come back to haunt him, to just push him back a little bit. So a few more years, he could really make a big splash in a lineup like this. But let me know down below how you guys are feeling about him. Apologies, butchered his name, but he could do well. But let me know. Big name. The next competitor on the list is ROELLY WINKLAAR. So ROELLY is kind of an interesting situation where you see his name and you automatically think he's going to probably win the show. Or even like last year where I think it was Big Ramy announced that he was going to do this specific show. Everyone's like, man, he's going to win right off the bat. But then some of us were like, well, you never know, because sometimes things can get changed up. ROELLY's situation is a little different, where he didn't show up as well as we wanted to see him. He looked downsized, especially in the delts. He just looked like a smaller ROELLY. So is he going to be able to make those corrections coming into like 3 weeks later? I think it's about 3 weeks later into this Europa Spain. I don't know how much more you can fill out. I keep seeing this one picture just like all over Instagram. I'm not really getting a wow factor here. Now, this might be good enough to win this show, but for ROELLY to get back into that first call out, I'm worried that this might not be the physique that he needs for that first call out at the Olympia. But let me know down below, guys. Do you think that there's anyone in this scorecard that we've talked about so far that could give ROELLY WINKLAAR a run for his money at this year's Europa Spain in the men's open class? And lastly is Krystian, I believe it's Krystian Wolski. So last time we saw him, another competitor that competed at the Mr. Big Evolution Portugal Pro. He placed 6th. So he placed in that first call out. He surprised a lot of people. He surprised me with his placing. And when you look at the physique, it doesn't surprise you at all. Like, just a beautiful physique, big, full, really, really wide clavicles, great shoulders, great quads, probably like some of the best quads I've seen in the men's open when we're thinking about like separation and striations, the lines going all the way into the posing trunks. I fanboy out when I see stuff like that. I love great conditioned quads, and especially even hamstrings as well. Like, you know, he's no slouch to the hamstring department on the side, from the back. It's just this guy could probably be the dark horse. I'm gonna hold my tongue for now, but if Wolski Krystian places in the first call out, I wouldn't be surprised this year's Europa Spain. So let me know down below, guys, how you guys are feeling about the scorecard. Is there anyone I missed? Was there anyone added? I just pulled the scorecard, so it should be up to date. But let me know down below what you guys are feeling about this year's Europa Spain. Who do you think the favorites are? Who do you think your dark horses are? Discuss down below. Let me know. I'd love to get some interaction with some of you super fans in the comment sections below. Also, if you want to support this channel, the best way you can do so is to like, subscribe, comment, and support our sponsor, Peak Performance Labs. Over on Instagram, you can use my discount code SANCH10 at checkout, save you 10%. And it'll also let them know that our audience is interested and appreciative of this sponsorship. So as always, guys, my name is Sanch, your host. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.